Hi everyone, welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm GoLocal News editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for joining us this Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. I'd like to welcome in a guest who we had probably just about this time last year. Andrew Schiff, Executive Director of the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here.
We had on GoLocal this week the status report on hunger as the organization puts out every year to give a snapshot of how things are here in Rhode Island. A couple of statistics if you hadn't had the chance to see that. Food insecurity impacts 1 in 8 households in Rhode Island. And this issue of hunger is the most prevalent that the food bank has seen in its reporting in the last 10 years.
That's right.
So talk with us a little bit about these numbers. Did they surprise you?
I think everybody's surprised by the numbers because the economy in Rhode Island is thriving. So at a time when unemployment is 3.8%, that is remarkably low. And there is pressure on wages. People are seeing wages increase. Why would there still be so many people struggling?
And so, there's a number of facets that you looked into that in particular, but one of the big ones is inflation, with rising food prices not being on par with rising wages.
Right. The high cost of living in Rhode Island is reflected in housing costs, rent, in energy costs, particularly fuel, and in the high cost of food.
So let's talk a little bit. You've been doing some press about this, telling folks about the status report on hunger. Obviously, there's 2 areas that you look to, especially for assistance, the federal level and the state level. Let's talk a little bit about the Farm Bill and Congress and how what happens in D.C. can impact what happens here.
So the Farm Bill, that is the federal legislation that authorizes SNAP, the food stamp program, actually expired at the end of September. And the House and Senate tried to come up with their own versions of a new Farm Bill. The Senate pretty much left SNAP benefits as is. The House decided to cut $20 billion out of SNAP over the next 10 years. And we really oppose those cuts. It'd be very harmful for Rhode Islanders. Right now in Rhode Island, 159,000 people are enrolled in SNAP.
I'm sure you follow what happens in D.C. Very closely, and of course, when we're at a time of looking where things can be addressed from a financial impact, the rationale for cutting $20 billion over the next 10 years, where do they think that assistance for these folks who are in need of assistance is going to come from?
That is not a question that anyone is asking. No one's asking what's going to happen, but I can tell you what will happen. Folks will end up having to go to food pantries and meal programs. So that would be a giant step back from where we are.
And here at the state level, you've talked about addressing such issues as the minimum wage and others as well. Let's talk a little bit looking ahead, especially at the 2019 General Assembly session.
We're looking for an increase in the minimum wage to $15 over time, gradual time. What we feel is that hardworking Rhode Islanders should not receive a paycheck that leaves them living in poverty. We're also asking the state to fund some new initiatives. There's a wonderful program called Bonus Bucks that helps SNAP recipients to double the value of their SNAP benefits at farmers markets.
Okay.
So it's a win-win. It helps low-income families. It also helps Rhode Island farmers. We think the state can really help to boost that program so it's available to more people.
So yeah, talk a little bit about that. How long has that program been in existence for? But you said you've seen results so far.
Yeah, so this is a program that's actually run by Farm Fresh Rhode Island. They've had grant money to run the program and piloted it successfully for the last couple of years. It's really shown that people are interested, they want to take advantage of that, and at a time when we're seeing that SNAP benefits don't really cover the real cost of food. This gives people an opportunity to stretch those benefits and helps them get healthy food.
So look, let's talk a little bit about the report, released before the holidays. Oftentimes we know the holidays are a focus, especially of folks from a generosity, a giving perspective, but it's really that year-round look that you have to take a look at here in the state. Talk with us about the state of the community food bank right now, and both the holidays and what we can expect through the year.
People have been very, very generous to us. We're lucky we get, support from across the state from individuals. Half the money that we raise is actually from individuals. We also get support, obviously, from corporations and foundations. And we're able to immediately use that support to bring in food to be able to, help so many people in need. Right now, we're serving 53,000 people across the state each month.
Okay.
So the need is really still significant, and we ask people each year to step up. Fortunately, this is a time of year when our cause is top of mind. Thanksgiving week is often a time when people think about what we do, but as you just said, we need help throughout the year. And so it's really important that we do well in terms of getting public support now, so we know that we can do our work all year round.
Anything else you want folks to know, Andrew, while we have you here in studio? Again, we've got those numbers. We have the report up on GoLocal Prov, but really wanted you to come in and talk about it, and especially that proactive way, looking again at Congress, looking here in Rhode Island. But anything else viewers should know, readers should know as we have you here in studio?
So one thing is, please read the report. It's on our website, rifoodbank.org. It gives you a look at where things are right now in the state, and I think it gives a really good view for people who may not know that much about the issue. The other thing is, there's nothing better than coming to the food bank to learn about our work. Everyone's welcome anytime, but there's a particular day on Saturday, December 8th from 9 to noon. We're having an open house. Most of the time, little kids aren't able to come to the food bank because we have machines and machinery and stuff like that. It's not really safe. We make it safe on that day for the open house so families can come with young children and get a tour of the food bank, get a sense of what we do, volunteer, help us out. It's a great day.
And so is that a good day, again, for folks who might want to give, might want to learn more about opportunities throughout the year, really sort of see what it's all about?
That is it.
Okay.
Come visit and learn about what we do.
Well, Andrew Schiff with the Rhode Island Community Food Bank, I appreciate your coming in. We'll, again, provide that link to the report, which is currently on the Rhode Island Community Food Bank's website and GoLocalProv.com, and we'll continue to bring you news throughout the year. Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time to come in.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with our last and final guest here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center.